Boom, boom. Oh, okay. Very good. Okay, so A. Who's doing? Like that, and here. Bits. And then so let's do boop, 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 and then bang, and bang. Symmetry. Boom, boom, boom. It's a boom. Yeah, it's done. What's that? Not sure what that's about. So it's probably this one, this pipe. Then boom boom, let's check. Yeah, that's it. Just touch what? That. No. Very good. Okay, so that's like a solidify thing there. That's what that is. So if I go down here. Okay, so that does go away. That is that makes more sense. I'm pretty sure I would have caught it if I had. Why is that? Okay, so. It's upwards. Here. Work? No. A little more bleed. Is that what I need to do? No, that's not working. Where are you? Hey guy, how's it going? Just trying to do a little bit of just this little stubborn bit of geometry. Okay, so here. So do I get weird angle to get it? Is it like no? That's okay. I picked up. It's not bad. Yeah. No. Let's go with are you? Right here. What are you doing? Where are you? Where are you? Editing. Boom, boom. Right there. Where are you? Okay, so you're up here. I see. Okay, that's where you are. Okay, good to know. And then if I go down here, let's just take the ratio down a little bit, 2 pixels, and then did pretty good. Got admittedly, I was gonna stream about 30 stars stream, you know, at 6:30, but I forgot. I lost track of time doing a little bit of was making just bashing some pieces together, like a little Warhammer model. Okay, so that's where for the size of these bits. So where are here? Okay, no, that's not. No, that's too close. Too close. There you go. Okay, so it's then that. I think it's these little parts. Okay. Where's another bit that's like that? Okay, so that. What's that? Okay, that's. I mean, that looks like it was the same kind of piece. It's probably can't. Okay, here we go. Then boom. I'm assuming I'm probably getting the other ones, considering there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 6 of them total. So I'm just going through and marking them manually. So probably just a wee bit of headache. And here and here. Don't know where that specifically is, but I can touch it up afterwards. Just need to get these bits. Cause it's probably down here. It's down here probably. Yep. Okay. Yep. There we go. And right here, and then aha. Here we go. Good. Yeah, I think I got that. Yeah, and I can just clean that up real quick. Yeah. All right. So one second, I have just pull something up real quick here. That's while I'm thinking of it. Because I'm just gonna go. Because I kind of posted what like I was doing, but like on but basically what I did was just go boom, 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 and then turn. Boom, boom. Alright, here. Yeah. Yeah, so basically what I was doing was, it's okay. Just saving it, burp. And don't close the window, don't want to turn off the music. But what I was doing was I was, just doing a little bit of kit bashing. Basically what I did was, just put that in there. See, I was taking one of the, you know, like, there's some, like, you know, different models have, like, different, alternate little parts to build, and what I was doing was because, you know, I already built myself built my tune up. I was basically taking this little bit right here. That was basically, like, you know, I more or less just, severed them right about here. I clipped those off. I sanded down, like, one side and the other side there, then I kind of was putting them together to make sort of like a double-barreled, like blaster. Then I did a little bit of, kind of chopped it up, or chopped up like a spare marine backpack, and then I glued them to that, and then I glued that to a power fist, so it's like, you know, like a shoulder, or like not like a shoulder, but like a underslung, like overslung, like, you know, rocket fist. Not like rocket fist, but like kind of like a. Like technically, storm bolters are like the fully automatic burr ones. Terminators tend to have storm bolters. They have a lot of storm bolters. They also have chain fists, which is kind of the chain fists are pretty cool. Terminators look cool. I'm definitely got like. It's like they relatively recently came up with like a combat patrol. Was basically. There's like some Space Marine combat patrols, but combat patrols are, in sense, they. Excuse me. What they are is they're essentially they cost around like roughly around $170-ish, like around that price range, $170, $160, depending on whether or not you get it for, like, directly from like the website or like from like or maybe like go to like the game store and such and buy them. But essentially, it's a bunch of take a bunch of like different kits and put into like a small combat, like, you know, into a box, and he sells them together. And you get like a discount, like roughly, like, cause like I know that the relatively new, cause like the one with like the Imperial Fist has like a squad of Terminators, this like a Syndicate Company Heroes, which is essentially the Company Heroes is already a pretty good discount considering it's like at least like 5 like special characters that can be run either as a unit itself or they can all like be like, you know, different hero characters, which, you know, considering, you know, the leader unit is around like 30-ish, 30, 40-ish dollars, depending on whether or not they're a special character. But, so yeah, that's already like probably 50% off with the Company Heroes. But then it's like a squad of box of Terminators. Then it adds like some like heavy intercessors with like heavy bolters, so it's $60, that would be $180. Then it throws in like an Imperial Fist like upgrade sprue. They got like a couple alternative like head options, some like shoulder plates. Okay, you know, obviously, you know, a little transfer, like a little water transfer. You put the water, take off the little transfer bit, and then you put them on where you want them to lay. And then you know, seal them up with like some like varnish. So that's like, that I believe is like around like $25-30, so that's on top of that. And then I believe it also, what does come with that? Cause like I've seen like that one has probably been like the most common Imperial Fist. Patrol. Right, yeah, it is. Oh, actually, it's better. Oh yeah. So it also has like, okay, it's got like yeah, the Company Heroes. That's already a discount. That is just some intercessors, which is $60. Then it has like, so it's 120. Then it's 180 with like heavy intercessors, and then it's Terminators, which is another 60. Then another like 25-30 on top of it, and so that's roughly like what, like so it's around like 250-ish to like 230. That's about, or no, like 270. So it's like it's like basically, you know, $100 discount. Like if you want everything in the box, which apparently a lot of people. It's like buying, like, so some combat patrols are a bit better than others, but like, apparently like, there's just a lot of like stuff in that box that people were hesitant to buy like individually, so it's like, oh, you can buy them all together. A lot of people are like, oh, huh, ain't that interesting. Obviously they're still a bit pricey. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine, you don't have to. Here, find a Dislark and listen. So what I've been doing is I have been... It's like my collection has been more, you know, is like the Crimson Fist. So there's like a, you know, successor chapter of Imperial Fists. They're essentially like... Technically they came before the Imperial Fist, like, as in like, you know, our timeline, you know, that they came first, and the Imperial Fist were introduced later on, but like the Imperial Fist came first, and then like in lore. Well, and I have been working on making my own version of their chapter master. His name is Pedro Cantor. That's also like another thing about like there's a lot of a Latin American, like, and Mexican, like, influence in the Crimson Fists, too. It's like, if I pull up, like, as in, like, they have a lot of characters that are, you know, that sort of general name and such, because, like, got, like, right, that those sort of names and such, as well as, like, complexion, I believe. It's, like, basically what he's got a... What we got here, he's got the, you know, the big old banner. And then he's got, like, you know, some heavy armor. We got a little pauldron right there. And then right here is essentially that's the the storm bolter. Basically, it's belt fed machine gun, which is would be good on its own, but it's also like essentially a storm bolter. Which what bolters are in lore? They're essentially rocket propelled bullets. So like the gyrojet plus being fired like an actual bullet. So like what like the gyrojet was is like it's little rockets that like they ignite and like basically these rockets speed up, and then so like if you shot like someone a bit like up close with it, probably not hurt that much, but like if you need some time to get to full speed. So the bolter shell is that. Plus it's also fired with some powder, and its caliber. Now, have you ever had like an energy drink or like a can of like Monster? Have you ever like seen one of those? That's how big those like rounds are, like in lore. So essentially, the standard bolter is essentially just a rocket-propelled grenade launcher. He's pretty freaking cool. And again, like Rule of Cool is used in a lot of things. I know the Eldar like have like little shuriken rifles. Shuriken cannons that shoot like, essentially extremely like, compressed like matter, like little discs. The Eldar are pretty cool too. I prefer Space Marines myself, but the Eldar are essentially just elves. They're space elves. They got their some pretty cool stuff on their own too. They got some pretty cool lore. It's just that GW seems to have a general dislike for them. Which kind of sucks, because they got some pretty cool... They got some dope-ass models, because, like, they got, like... Because, like, what Eldar... Like, the Eldar, like, have, like, their super special unit, because, like, like, obviously they have the... maybe they have, the Storm Guardians who are, like... their version of, like, a foot soldier. But then they got, like, these, like... essentially what they're called, like, as aspect warriors, which, like, essentially when, like, a guardian, like, devotes their path into, like, devotes into learning, like, a specific art of war. Then you get, like, fire dragons who have these, like, I don't know what they got, what are the weapons called? They got some really freaking awesome weapon names. Now that they got some cool weapon names, let's just go. Sorry. Boom boom. And then... Sorry, boom boom. Just pop up a couple of these. Filters, plastic. Aspect warriors, boom boom. Film results. Got some really just like I got fire dragons, warp spiders, striking scorpions, shining spears. They ride on jet bikes and they have lances that are also giant laser guns, essentially. Laser sword, gun, lance. And like the so the fire dragons have their weapons are called. They have a fire pike, dragon axe, a dragon fusion pistols, dragon's breath flamers, and well, those are pretty kick-ass names already. But then like the warp spiders, because like they they teleport around. What they have is these What they have is they have death spinners and death spinners, death weavers, and spinneret rifles. And what those are is like like how the different they're essentially nano molecular nets that are essentially launched at people, so they kind of just cut through stuff like butter. So like, I don't know, my name was Spider-Man, like, you know, just shot like, you know, a web, but it was like also like had to cut through stuff like a lightsaber, which is what that is. And then yeah, the striking scorpions are cool, are also pretty cool because, like, you know, I didn't mention it, but like didn't mention this earlier, but like, you know, each aspect warrior group has their own, you know, color scheme. Like, you know, the fire dragons have like, you know, a bright yellow helmet and a like orange like jumpsuit, and the warp spiders have like, you know, the red red, you know, red suit with like the, like, you know, the white and red helmet, and they got like the giant backpacks, essentially like there are giant power pack teleport things. At least that's what they're. That's generally, I think, is what it's used for. And then the striking scorpions are bright green. Yeah, the shining spears have a white suit with a bright blue helmet, and then they have a Star Lance. Okay, you can do the Star Lance or Paragon. They got Paragon sabers. Okay, so Star Lance and a Paragon saber are what they wield. They're exactly what they sound like. Then the Dark Reapers are the most, like, if you like you're 14, like, and if I was like 14, I was getting to Warhammer, like, this is definitely be like, they're all black. And, like, all black suit except for like the face, which is like almost painted like a skull. And they got these essentially these giant guns that look like machine guns that look like, you know, like a bazooka, like a rocket launcher with, like, you know, giant rocket, like, blaster. But instead of, like, it being an actual rocket launcher, it's essentially to add more surface area so that they can add more barrels to the gun, essentially. Which allows them to shoot even more shurikens really, really, really fast. They're called fucking Reaper launchers. And, like, they have a lot of really cool, and then after the last one was the Howling Banshees, and they're generally, you know, like a tan with, like, you know, then I have like, you know, green robes and such, and then as well as, like, you know, red like plumage coming from their helmets, and they have like these they're really fast. They got like these like swords, and they have like their helmets have essentially the extremely like loud like sonic screaming weapon, screaming like amplifiers, like a megaphone, except it's part of the helmet, and they basically just yell really loud, and that's an attack. They're pretty cool. I personally prefer Space Marines, and like also Tyranids. The Tyranids are pretty cool too. This also works. But like they're definitely like they definitely give off the same like vibe as like Power Rangers. Honestly, that's what I would like kind of liken them to, because that's. I mean, they each like special unit has like their own like special color scheme, regardless of which like clan or like you know, craft world they come from, because like they're like you're part of this place. Here, have our cool trademarked armor. And I mean, if Space Marines can do it, like, why not? I mean, sure, like, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it looks really freaking cool. They look pretty cool. If I do see so myself. Grab a candy can. I'm gonna grab a candy can. What? Go back to what I was doing. Okay, let's go. And then I'll go down here. And then that's a little toothpick. probably not gonna never pick up like an Eldar army, but I definitely would maybe like pick one of their characters or something, because they got some pretty like, dope models that look like they would. You could probably do some pretty fancy things with paints and such. They probably take well to like different like washes and such. Or essentially just like thin down paint, so you layer the paint. So you got like a white base coat underneath, and then you'll take some red paint, you thin it down a bit, and like makes like a. Actually, wait, no, like a better example would be like if like, you know, you basically paint all black, like a bit of just volumetric lighting, I think is what it's called. What they like some painters do is they you know, the black base coat, and on top of it, like using airbrush, like if from above, or like wherever like light would be coming from, they like spray a bit of light paint, and like, so like on the raised edges that where there would be light, they adds it with like that's where the white is, and then like while the recesses remain black, so that when like, you know, they can go over with like, you know, different washes, they can like keep that gradient while also like adding color to it. And well, I can do that. You can also use like washes like for different like certain paints. Like you can like also use different kind of mediums. You can use like a chipping medium, so you can like put like a metallic paint on top of, or like metallic paint. Then on top of that, you can like mix chipping medium with really whatever color. And then after you let that dry, you can like then like take a little bit of like a little silicone tool or like a little paintbrush with a little bit of water, and then like you can just like reactivate the medium and like, get a little bit of chipping effect before, you know, you seal it over with, you know, whatever varnish or like technical, you know, coat over that. So there's a lot of things you can do with the painting. I never really realized that was like a thing you could do until I guess I got my hands on them for the first time, because like, oh man, that's fun thing. Pretty cool. Let's go. Oh, no. Nope. Quick swig. Okay. Let's see. Wait, that's that one. That's what the tail's gonna be. This and that one, go that. Just move that out a bit. Let's go. Yep. Add the color. Here. Darker orange. I guess like this would be like almost like a rust like color, I think would be a good way to describe this one. Oh, but yeah. Roughly. This kind of check out. Like, probably including like, it was probably like in terms of like my whole life, I've heard this song quite a few times. Considering like it's this was one of like the many like one of like the original like, you know, copyright free soundtrack, like this was like, you know, Scheming Weasel by what's his name? Scheming Weasel by Kevin MacLeod. It's like, it was made like 9 years ago, so like, you know, down back in 2015. It's like, you know, people, you know, like Let's Players or like people who, you know, play on things like, you know, Gmod or like Minecraft would use his music a lot. So like, you know, when I was, you know, so yeah, maybe I'll start streaming some of my modeling. It's like, you know, maybe have a little bit of background. MacLeod, his name, like, yeah, Kevin MacLeod is like, Kevin MacLeod. So it's like, yeah. One's called Scheming Weasel's the one this one is. It's got a lot of other music, and I just thought this one felt like it's got a lot of different music with different tones, but I felt like this it's fast, but like it's not like overly energetic, which I think kind of matches the. I mean, it's not really much going on here. It's kind of just me doing some, you know, painting, some 3D modeling and such, so it felt more appropriate than something a bit more fast-paced, like if I were to like look at some of the other things, like maybe like let's go with like Fluffing a Duck. Actually, look at that. Fluffing a Duck is actually apparently a good one, huh? Yeah, that one also probably works, yeah. That probably one also works. Let's go to Kevin. Boom, boom, boom. YouTube. There's some other. Where's some? It was like way back in the day. That's the older ones. Reese's. It's got a lot of music. It's got a lot of just like honestly has a whole lot of music. Oh, what's that one? What's this one? Oh yeah, that one's not exactly. That's not exactly. Didn't really fit the vibe of that stream, honestly. So can't really think of what's up my head. Yeah, that's a bit too ambitious. I'd say, but like yeah, like a lot of like I know a lot of people who played. You know, apparently played Gmod back in the day, like do like videos with that, like down like Vanoss, I think. It's like I'm not sure if he's still doing that, but he's doing like that. He used honestly this one a whole lot too, as well as just a bunch of other. Where's a bit of? What's this? Hey. Just be there. It's so dark. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, that's a bit. Okay, that's a bit too. Okay, that's not the right color. Let's go. You and then over here. And there we go. There we go. Go. Then back to black. And you know, I'll just save it real quick. Just progress, why not? One sec if it like just think out something crashed and lost all the progress. So like a full line, like go right there. Just like a highlight or like edge outlining. Not what this is doing. Let's go right here. And let's there. Boom, boom. Around. Right. And here. Let's see. Also, yeah, like I think I remember like what I was gonna say, a couple like I think I remember mentioning like, you know, Warhammer, you know, like how it's kind of, it's a tad costly. Like, there's, obviously there's a couple, you know, there's, some, you know, some sites that like, you know, kind of like, you know, they're legally distinct. They're space soldiers and such. Like there's like I know that couple I think it was like I haven't used them myself, but I know the like in general that Green Stuff World, and it was Green Stuff World, and what was it? It was like and then Chromic Miniatures. Basically, like I was mentioning, like, you know, it's like the prices can be a bit, you know, like for, you know, you're having, you know, Space Marines and like and such, you know. Remember, like, you know, it was like the Mutalith Vortex Beast being like $92, and like, you know, like 10 Marines, like, like 10, like, you know, just like rank and file Space Marines being like roughly like $60, like, you know, $5 a Marine. Well, basically, there's, if you look online, you're like, there's like no shortage of like different like sites that sell like, you know, legally distinct like little resin bits or like little STLs for like, you know, 3D printing. And you can like order just what you want. So, like if you like just want like maybe like a miniature like to like paint, like not just a whole squad, you can just buy what you need, and you don't need all of the whole bits. Like the website like Cromlech Miniatures, and then Green Bits ones I've seen are pretty cool. And you can also use them in addition with like, you can use like the different bits with the, you know, the actual, you know, Space Marine, like the official, like, you know, miniatures. You can like mash them together, like get bashed to make like something your own fancy little dudes. Apparently, you shouldn't bring like if you do like 3D like printed ones, you should maybe like you don't bring them to a Warhammer store, because I know that like can be like, I think that like can lead to get like banned from the store, but like you just take them, like, you know, you go over your friends' place, you know, go play it with Warhammer. And we can probably feel able to find just like as well as any other like gaming or like tabletop game store. That'll probably fly, but like I know that basically what you do is let me pull it up actually. One sec. If you go into, let me just let me look. Let's say let's check out Stern. Let's pull up the Stern Guard Veterans for example. I'm just opening up on the website real quick. Just gonna go here and let's go browser source, browser, cancel. Let's go window, capture. Browsing, boom, boom. There you go. And then I just snap you to transform screen, and then let's put you down here. Or let's put you about here. But like basically, they're plastic miniatures. What you do is they come on what is like, you know, called sprue. And what you do is you actually I should probably up for the green on the vortex. Sure. Off the mute left. There we go. Oh. There we go. Like what you do is you essentially clip like the bits off of the sprue, and then using a little bit of plastic glue, you can like put it together. And after you're done put together, you can like also obviously comes with a little base, and you can take a little bit of like, you can like maybe take some bit of like sand, like you know, craft like decoration, like a little sand, like a little bit of rock, little tufts of grass, like a little bit of super glue to add some like texture and such. But after you do that, like you can like, you know, do painting. After that, you paint them, and like you can also like do like some things. I know that some people like, have done like things where they add like some like twine, like they like they kind of like, you know, fray it a little bit, and like you know, they attach it in strips, like make it almost look like muscle fibers before like, you know, gluing them, like setting them into place, as well as adding, you know, jewelry chains on top of them. It's like in terms of size, like these are like actually beautiful. Like how big is no, not interested. But okay, so what's its height? Height. How tall is it? That's all it is. So it's probably, yeah, it's like 6 inches tall. Was it's probably like, it's more like each of these little pots in the back, like around like roughly an inch tall. And like I have a couple. I have a couple of them. I have like it's like, remember like have some like the first ones that I got was like yeah, this is the Ghazghkull Thraka, and basically what his deal is he's a, you know, orc. He's an orc war boss, obviously. He got his head cut off. And normally what happens with that, you know, you die, but what happened with him, you know, he's his friends, like, you know, he got his lads, his boys, took his head back and returned him to like, the like their doctor, and he basically just took his head and put him on the body of like a larger orc, and then basically he's a giant cybernetic orc of these several bits. Like he's honestly like he's roughly, I would say, from like here to here, that's like he is about I'd reckon like is from here to here, that is at least I think 4 to 4.5 inches is like a tall, and then that's like from like millimeters to inches. Like he's like 80 millimeter round base, so and he like overhangs quite a bit. It was like that. Like the entire thing is like he's got like. Like that is like roughly like 1.5 inches, and like he's a pretty chunky model. He's some big models. Could be cheap. I mean, it could be cheap, like, but like at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, so yeah, that too. He has got, that's the thing with like several models. You can build them slightly different variations. But yeah, like, well, I think it vaguely mentioned, like, this is just going a bit off topic, because, going from blending, and then we're talking about, like, Warhammer, but in terms of, like, I mean, kinda, but, like, at the same time, it's, like, it's entirely different. Oh, yes, I got rid of the music. Like, it's entirely different, like, Google account, entirely different. It's a completely separate account, completely separate thing, separate entirely. Yeah, just be careful. Probably just quickly I could probably just like just check the VOD, like the VOD real quick, but like I don't think I would get anything leaked. Yeah. Obviously not, offense taken. Obviously, just like that's a completely reasonable question. Now just get there we go. Music back. Yeah, I've gotten quite a couple. Like honestly, there's like I said, like that's like from like the original website, but like you can find like almost all of like a whole lot of like the miniatures like on like Amazon for like. Up 15% up to 15% off, like off by default, like and when there's sales, then like that's kind of compounds. And you can also probably like find a whole lot of stuff like that's secondhand for pretty darn cheap too. Like at like local game stores and such. But like general advice, like I've heard like repeated several times, like if getting into the hobby, do not buy it directly from like the website or GW, like or there is no shame in buying from like secondary sources or getting it secondhand, like and just using a little bit of like a little bit of isopropyl alcohol like, to just remove like some acrylic paints. And you don't really need like super duper fancy pants, like you can fancy brushes. It's like you can buy like probably like packs of like I don't know 20 like 20 like to 100 like relatively cheap all right like paintbrushes for like I don't know maybe like $10-ish. And they're, or even like probably like I did get like some like I did get like some like really like synthetic ones at Walmart that I use like when I'm basing it with like some like texture paste or essentially just a bit of like sand and like a little bit of gravel and or not literally that, but like it's got like it's meant to mimic that. It's like you put it like the paste on top of like the base to make it look like it's like standing on like earth or different like textures and such. And that can like be a bit damaging to brushes. But like if you can get some cheap disposable brushes, like, and what's don't really matter if like you ruin them. I mean, that's kind of what they're meant to do. And obviously, again, like there's plenty of extra like third-party bits that are leagues cheaper than like any of the actual sites, or like actually buying certain models. So, and there's no shame in like 3D printing or ordering 3D printed parts, especially with like people. Generally, it is like if you can, you can. If you don't, if you have to buy it, there's no shame in that. But like, you should. Generally, like just do the hobby how you want it with miniatures. Like, unless you're going like to like local game, like having game tournament, official game tournaments, or like painting, like to get like Golden Demon, which is essentially a little painting competition. Like, so here's extremely professionally painted models, which the average painter probably isn't gonna be doing that. I mean, it's gonna be just a hobby, and there's no shame in doing that. I'm really like choose like faction. You can probably just look up like, cause there's like each different like faction kind of has their own like community. Cause like I know like that like the Death Guard, who are like almost like zombie plague marines. Like if how like them Thousand Suns like I have like the Egyptian theme, and they're like dust and armor. Like essentially like the Death Guard are essentially like rotten Walking Dead zombies inside of power armor, and they have like they have their guts spilling out in some of their models, and they have like like disease and contagions and such. And their community like has their own like little subset, like they got newcomers kind of like, okay, if I want to get a certain model, what do I do? Like, and they'll give you like a whole bunch of tips and tricks. There's generally that, like, there's something like that for like just about every faction in the game, honestly. There's definitely a whole lot of like communities that like can help you with figuring out how to acquire certain models, or maybe like you can get back something else and they can basically just be it for leagues cheaper. It's like because in terms of like like actually making the models and paying hobby, like overall community is pretty accepting of that. Just that some people can get a bit like touchy when people are like, okay, they've been like here they in the hobby like weeks ago, and they're like, hey, you should change literally everything about the hobby, like, and then people are just like a bit defensive of that. It's like, other than that, like, you just want we want to get pay some Space Marines and make you cool dudes, like have a good time. Like, yeah, almost everyone will be like, okay, cool, yeah. Generally pretty chill on that end. And obviously, let's do that. Like, communities, like they're making these communities toxic, and it's just that like the toxic minority is just really freaking loud. Just ignore them. They're all chill. It's like it's like it's been around here for like what, like 20, little over like 30-ish years. Like it's back in back in from the 90s and such. Like if we're going to like Warhammer Fantasy, even over like 40-ish years old. So like there's like got some old heads who are like probably in their 60s, or maybe like some people who had them who like had Warhammer as a kid back when like the models were made of metal. And like now it's just that like people like coming in like just changing it, like make things like lore and such for no reason. It's like, could you not? It's like you're more welcome to like do things. You may have like your own headcanons, but you shouldn't try like enforcing it on other people, if that makes any sense. Because like they're there, because like obviously like if you paint your cool ass like if you want to paint your like Thousand Suns, like you want to have like maybe like a have instead of like, you know, I mean, blue with like gold highlights, you can make them all like black, and like have them like, you know, like bronze, like, or like silver highlights, can like make it almost like an Anubis sort of vibe. I'm pretty sure like everyone will be like, oh damn, that's pretty cool. They probably think that's pretty cool. It's just that like it's just that there have been bad actors who have tried to like co-opt things. Oh, like, I'm just like, why are you being toxic? Why are you being toxic? I'm not toxic, you're just acting a fool. Like, you're just coming in here, like, if you open, because, like, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't know how to, honestly, like, you know, more or less getting across, so, but yeah, all things considered, you should, you know, probably be, it'll just generally be fine. Generally just, like, you know, obviously you don't like when you go into someone's house, like, you know, you don't just don't act like a, you know, don't act like a jackass, like, you know, just going over here, like, you don't shit on the carpet, but you just, you know, just be respectful, you know your thing, you just show off, just, you know, you just talk, you just hang out, you show you talk about the lore. You can talk about lore, you can talk about the miniatures, you can play some games and such, and like generally just like, you know, just show like basic, you know, decorum and such. Really, like, honestly, like, considering, honestly, like, I don't know, it's like, I wouldn't really call myself a part of any real community, really. I was, because I kind of as a kid, but like, even then, like, I didn't really have that much internet access, so I didn't really interact with other people. I was more just like watching from the sidelines, I guess. But like, I don't know, like any group of people that's larger than, I don't know, like double digits, or even in like the higher end, like, you know, like 30 to 40-ish people is eventually gonna have like some bad actors. Just, you know, that's kind of just life. Just don't let them, like, you know, like jade your view of other people who are in there, and just, like, you know, the bad eggs. Pretty chill. Perfect. I'd say, like, probably get around, like, 20 people who are, like, or 20 or, I'd say around, like, I'd say, like, 20 or 15 to 18 people. Like, the 20 people, like, I think 20 people, like, it's around, like, a sweet spot, like, that's definitely, like, probably 25 you could probably do it, maybe 30, but 40 at that point, it's like you can't vet that, at some point you can't really vet everyone personally, you kind of just have, like, to trust that, like, you know, like, everyone else is, you know, doing their part, and, like, you know, that everyone's on the same page. It's like, you shouldn't let it, like, stop you from, you know, making friends, you know, just, and such, just, like, you shouldn't, like, the hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I mean, I'm more just talking, like, admittedly, I have been mostly homeschooled, so I don't really, like, as in, like, terms of, like meeting up with people, like, I haven't really met, like, in larger groups. Not really a huge fan of large groups myself, but I don't know, it's pretty easy to hold a conversation. Conversations, like, you know, just it is complicated, and honestly, everything is. And just depends on the good people and the little one. You know, funny thing is, it's like when I'm, like, I might get my water bottle right here, because like my my face is right here, the water bottle's all black, so like, you know, I just take a swig, my model just like stops tracking for a second, it just goes. Only for it to, like, you know, just sound like jerk back, like, okay, there's the face. I lost it for a second, where it would go. But yeah. Yeah, ideally, like, I'd say, like, in terms of like, there'd be, like, you know, guarantee that, like, if people are generally on the same page, would probably be, like, 15, like, 12 to 15 people, or, like, 12 to 18. Like, I think, like, that's, like, a pretty good, like, you know, just, like, you know, some, like, you know, core group of people, like, you know, working towards a certain goal, or maybe, like, you know, they're working on, maybe they're making lore, or making, like, a story or something like that. It's just that, like, you know, the nature of, like, you know, people who are, you know, that are, you know, jackasses, and, like, you know, they want positions in which they have power over people, so they'll seek out positions in which they can have, that allows them to, you know, exert their will on others. So, by that very logic, it's like, it's kind of like my, you know, there's, like, you know, the stereotype of, like, you know, the controlling manager. It's like, it's not that, like, being a manager requires you to be that, it's just that the job itself is attractive to people who would end up doing that sort of thing. It's like that kind of thing. It's that, like, at some point it becomes difficult to fully to fully, like, you know, cross-reference, and they can ensure that everyone, like, you know, is, like, you know, working in good faith. But, like, it shouldn't stop you from, you know, reaching out, you know, making friends and such, and, you know, like, you know, working with other people on projects or something like that. He's like, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, that sort of thing. I'd say that's a good motto to live by. Like, if the worst comes to pass, you'll be prepared to, like, you know, deal with the fallout. But if it doesn't happen, well, then you'll have stuff prepared in advance. It's like, it doesn't really hurt to be prepared. Speaking of being prepared, it's like, actually, like, something like, obviously you see the, wait, no, like, you see, like, obviously, like, this my model, but I also got this over here. And the reason is because it's a data transfer modifier. Basically, it transfers data from this one to this one. So, for example, if I just go here, let's say if I, you know, let's copy. Yeah, let's say if I were to copy this normal, then just hit select all by sharp, and then I just go ahead and paste. It'll affect this model. But actually, if I go, it can affect this model. It's not really showing. Not really showing, but, like, that's the general idea. I think I might have, like, I'm not sure what exactly is going on there, but, like, should be working on it, right? I got the face turned out. Just gotta do an eyeliner out there to make the eyes a bit more clear. So that's, like, one of the things that, like, is a bit tricky with this model, because, like, if I just bring it up, like, because if it's, like, really, like, oh, whoop, a bit too close. But, if I go, like, there, like, there's really thin out in my outlines right here, but it's just a bit, too thin to be seen at a distance, so it's a bit harder to. It's like if I zoom out, then like where exactly is the eye and the where exactly is the eye part, the eye? Because like the lighter skin, the white of the eye is a bit tricky to parse. So if I just up, yeah. What's going on? Hey, okay. Is it? Look at that. Okay, I guess we're just going. Huh. Can I just Okay. Okay, let's put you back. Let's put you right here. And the reason I bring that up is because like one of the things I was kind of like preparing, because I was kind of like, you know, one color and then on top another color on top of another color. Yeah, the entire model. Yeah. Don't really. I mean, I don't really have a reason to go. Like, just goes down there. This model's got little hooves, little steppy hooves. Don't know why. Don't know why it's like. I don't know why the knees are like that though. What? Oh, wait. Oh, okay. That actually makes a lot more sense. Okay, so it's moving with the head. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know it did that. Okay. Okay, that's. I don't know. Good to know for later, I guess. Yeah, truly the most professional of all time. I actually didn't realize. Yeah, that makes more. Honestly, that's probably like the. That's how actually wait. That's the Actually, if I go like, as if I. Okay, yeah. So that's definitely the movement range thing. Yeah, because like that basically changing how much it moves with the. Like how it moves, how much the body moves with the head. Okay. Like that's probably what that is. And then movement smoothing is this. But then my hair's always wiggling, so I kind of have to keep this a little bit up so it's not like. It also technically slows the movement. So if I go like, it's like a slow motion, but like it's a little bit more. Makes it so that just a little bit. Like obviously still wiggles a little bit, but it doesn't. It's enough that I can like. It's not like constantly moving or gyrating and such. Got like a little helicopter going brr. Yeah. Hands aren't that big, aren't nearly as big, but like I think that's fine. I'd say that's fine. Yeah, it's got its own little thing. It's kind of like a little antennae, which is kind of like what they were kind of meant to be. Kind of about antennae, eye stalks. Actually, I think it's like. If I remember right, actually. Wait a second. Let me just. Yeah, I think they actually are antennae. 1 second, because if I bring in. So if I just drop a hue in and. Okay. So if I drop him in, drop in like the little model. Just bring it over here. The bones. If I look at the bone names. Yeah. The antennae ahoge. The ahoge. Like the old idiot. So yeah, they just. Yeah, that's what they're doing. It is what it does. And now I just. Boom, 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 boom. I could have sworn I called it. So I could have sworn I called it something like that. Well, basically, yeah, because like that's what like the different parts of like an armature are called. Because like the different like bones are essentially like where like you know the joints in which they actually I still got it open, don't I? Yeah, just put you back. Yeah, anyway, it's my model. I can do what I want with it. It's just like the armature. Q. Let's go to pose mode. What the bones are essentially like these are little. It's bones are essentially define what parts of like the meshes depending on what part of like the body the mesh is attached to, defines sort of what part of it is like. That's kind of like how rigging works, because like you can have them like as you can see, go like this. This bone connects this one. If I move this bone, it moves the other bones. You can also do like some fancy things, whereas if the movement of one bone affects another. And then you obviously got like just like you just big bone and such. And generally, if I just go into wireframe, oh goodness gracious, like it's 1 second. Let me just hey, let's go trace the quads. Might not be 100% perfect, but it'll suffice. But so if I go like here and you see like how like essentially like the little bits of the bone are like essentially around, are roughly positioned where just like this one is just roughly around like a little circle that goes under the armpit down here, then into here. And that's so it has like a more smoother deformation when it moves. So when it moves, it's not like having like overly unnatural. Let's put it. That's similar to like this one being like straight down the middle here. If I go like that, see, it moves like that. And if I move the legs, like this leg is roughly right here. And then I rotate it like here on the x-axis. Moves like that. And then obviously, R, Z, if I move the head, it moves like this, move it like this. And let's just go back to that. I think I'm really just gonna put that in like the corner, honestly, like now. If I feel like let's go. Yeah, let's go. Because like the reason that it was all tries, like or at least like, a good chunk of the body was, is due to it being it's like the process of bringing it into Unity turns all like the quads into tries. And then, but you can also like when you bring it back to Blender, you can just turn all the tries back into quads. But like the way like different lighting systems work, it's better to have like quads because they deform a bit better. It's like if you know like the Lethal Company and how like some of the different like animations look a little bit a bit silly, a little bit jank. It's because like that's actually like a deliberate like mesh design, because like the Zeekerss act like specifically made like the different like geometry out of tries. That adds to like the almost like the janky, almost like slightly stiff feeling of some of like the animations. It's like because like obviously that's kind of like in order to break the rules, you need to know why they exist in particular. Yeah, Lethal Company is basically it's a horror game. It's a horror group party game. What you do is you and like up to 4 friends, more with mods, because obviously like every game has mods. But we basically you and 4 friends, you're working for a company, and you go out to different moons to collect scrap from different facilities, but you have to avoid monsters. And what each Lethal Company also has like proximity voice chat, so the game kind of plays on some of that, because like if you're like some of the different obviously talk in the different environment, like if you go inside like a facility, like and someone else is outside the door, like they can't hear you, and then but like they can also some of the different monsters can hear you, some of them actually can't hear you and they can only see you, and then some make more sound, some like react angrily to sound, but some monsters make sound, which means like you can like bait like certain monsters into attacking each other. is very much almost like a Looney Tunes, goofy. And it's very much the kind of like, I hate this word, but it's like a friend swap, kind of like Repo, and like just little 4-player and proximity voice track. It's like, it's slop, and other people could do. I mean, if it's so, if it's slop, why not? Why don't you go in there and make millions? Yeah, it's actually, how cheap is the, I know it's pretty darn cheap. I know it's like, I'm pretty sure it's on PC, but like, yeah, it's like $10. It is just $10. Like, for what it is, it's like that's pretty darn cheap. And, well, in this economy, like, that really doesn't hurt for something to be cheap. Quick water. Back. And boom, boom. And that is... I'm gonna have to refill my water bottles, because I'm out of water. I think I'm good for right now. And there we go. Where's some good games that I have? Like, that are just like, what if these games are console games? What games that I really, I guess because I got lots of games. No Man's Sky seems to be doing very well. I know that's on console. What else is there? I think I might play Halo, like for tomorrow's stream, because like probably tomorrow I'm gonna focus a little bit more on hunkering down, completing this, like the texture work on this model. Then I'm just gonna rig it, and then after that I just need to, make emotions and such, and then I can. Yeah, it's honestly surprising, like how like it went from being like an absolute laughingstock to being like, oh damn, yeah, devs actually give a shit. Damn, you don't see that every day. And apparently, like the new update with there's been like so many like different people making ships. One person made like a Nokia phone. Make their ship a giant Nokia phone. Like, this made like the most indestructible ship known to mankind. Making the Millennium Falcon. Some people are making like, obviously Warhammer 40k ships. They're essentially just giant. Well, it's more like back in because back in the day it was a bit had a bit of a hectic launch. But like basically what happened after that is like the guy who was like, the head of the studio essentially took all of like the complaints about like, people had sorted through the data, and after that they kind of just like, for a couple months, like, they kind of just like went radio silent and just focused on fixing the game, and then they just added updates, just loads of free updates, like, free, like, essentially DLC, and kept adding stuff. And, well, man, the game, I mean, just admittedly it was kind of like I know the Internet Historian has a rather, like, a pretty in-depth, like video on it on YouTube. I know he's got, like, a pretty cool one. It's like, what, like, I think it's, I don't know how long it is, but he tends to make really long videos about, like, different things. I know he did one, like, on the Costa Concordia. I also did one on the Evergrande ship that got, like, trapped, like, in, like, back in, like, not in 2020, but, like, It was like the Evergrande that got like stuck in that one like canal and it's in like or something. I think it was like Suez Canal or that or I don't think it was that. Like if you maybe like I don't know maybe like I don't know, because like I'm not always online. Like you can go look up like just like internet story at No Man's Sky. Am I online with this one? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, I am. Okay. Nope, I'm not doing that. Account created September 19th. 5 bots. I wonder if that's a bot. Might be a bot. It's fucking crazy. Let's see. Right here. Here. And that little mark here. And there. Just gotta finish up with the rest of this skull cap. I guess not really skull cap, but more like the little biosuit, like undersuit. I guess would like this would be under biosuit. I'm probably gonna call it right. And boom, boom. You here. Out of here. Here we go. Yes. Here. No. Yeah. least this little. Here. Then let's get the last bit. Then I'll get the last bit of the neck. Hurry up. Oop. Let's go with you. Work it out. 8, 4. Okay, so 5 left. And then let me just boom, boom. Seam, seam, seam. Seam. Thank you. Invert, hide. Then boom. Boom. And hey. Go. Then 8. Boom. Boom. Alright, I got the neck. Let's get a check. Sick if I at least not got it. Here. 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 Boom. Nope. Pretty good, I'd say. If you have a good night, I'm probably also gonna have a good night here too. Cause I'm gonna call it there for tonight. We got what I'll be working on tomorrow. I'll probably finish up most of the outlining on off stream, but yeah. We can start. Probably gonna maybe bring it on stream next or this Monday. Probably, yeah. This Monday I have this. That sounds about right, time wise. So, I'll see you all later. You have a good night.